So, hello everyone. I think you can hear me now. So, let's see if I can hear you and see you. I'm sorry for the noise. It's the setup phase, so whenever there is something, please let me know. Whew. So, maybe put the camera a bit higher. So, great stuff, great stuff. How are you doing all together today? Are you ready for some live streaming? Dart and Flutter tonight or today, I'm not sure. I think for the most of you it's very late in the evening. So thank you very much for being here. My week so far was just ridiculously amazing. I did a lot of things and I had some very cool tasks that I could work on, and I enjoyed my whole life, to be honest, wherever I could. So I hope your day was also amazing and you had a great start in the week, or better, what is it now, Wednesday or Tuesday? So I think you had a good start in the week, hopefully. 10 p.m. Ooh, that's, as I said, pretty late. From California, okay, cool. From all over the world. I see right now that my chat is broken. You see, that's good that I sometimes make this early streams, so we have some time left before we go into something major. So you will be awake till 3 a.m. You don't need your beauty sleeper. Hey Harsh, hey AKM, hey Peace, nice to see you again. From Sri Lanka, hey Monsieur Kamit. I think Estuti is thank you in Sri Lankan, if this is correct. Not sure anymore. But I was driving with the train up to Ella from Colombo out, and it was quite a trip, so we had some friends, or met some friends there, and we learned a lot of the language. Hey Dilepa, nice to see you. Hey Kumar, great. So, I am awesome. Look at you, you are awesome. I really enjoy to work with you. It's always amazing to be in the community. So I hope you prepared a lot of difficult questions that we will talk today about, because I have just a minimal setup and I asked a lot around, so I'm really curious what you can have for questions for me today. Hey Al Rahib, nice to see you. Or Sarah. So great stuff. Sadly Mahtab cannot be part of today, but let's see how we can do. Actually, coding is not really planned, so Emma, right? So in the worst case, if we don't have any questions that we would fight off, of course, if you have a question code related, we will code. But if you don't have any question, I thought let's write some tests or have a look into Cohen's, or maybe even start with your fantastic idea of creating a QR code generator. Something like that, I don't know. Or Captcha creator, was it? But actually for Captchas, I thought always that Google has the major tooling already with reCAPTCHA. Hey Cass, nice to see you again. Hey Tamas from Austrian, nice. Wait, Austrian is Österreich, right? Not Austria, like, or is it? No, difficult to say. You have looked into freeze, that's a cool thing. What's my opinion? I think Luke Baghetti said it once in my, I think he made an interview with me, and he said something very interesting, which was that it is a shame that Remy needed to create that package because we don't have that in Dart yet. So maybe in the future we have it. I have idea of it. Should I say it now in the stream how to do? Österreich. Okay, so nice to see you, Tomasz. Hey Hamish, nice to see you. I see already, so to put something into the advertisement everywhere on Twitter and so on helps a little bit for the live streaming. So should do that more often. Hey Acentis, great to see you. Wow, quite busy here, 19 people. Great to see you all. For which case is Captcha used in the mobile app? Mostly it's used for web. That is true. Actually, it's a good question if Captchas are anyway used inside of the mobile phones. Don't know about that. And the question would be what for, right? But there is the reCAPTCHA in Android, so there should be a benefit of it. Well, if you have bots in your app, I think then it is useful. Human bot validation in general, yep, true. But the question is, can you check for a mobile app if it is a bot? Difficult to say, hard to say, I think. When will be Flutter CEO ready? Yeah, that's a very good question. I don't know, did you check the GitHub repository already? You know what, I take that with for my very first question, because I think we can now slowly start also with the live stream. So Discord user verification. Oh, that's also a good idea. But on the other side, cool. Where can you use global key? So what I do at the moment is I write a little bit down what questions you have. So don't worry, I will answer them step by step. I just try to not forget all of them because they are quickly gone. When will be Flutter CEO ready? Check Flutter Greek. Chris discussed this extensively. Great stuff. So Javad Abazi discussed that. Fantastic. Thank you, MA. So at the moment, I think Flutter is not CEO ready, and I don't know if there is a GitHub, if there is a Git issue on Flutter itself. But I would guess so, because that sounds something like they want to have that in the web sooner or later. So not sure if we can find it easily. CEO, nope. Sort by likes. SEO friendly, yeah, there it is. So you see, and I quickly also put it into the message. Okay, I quickly have to open up the chat here on this computer and then we can see further. Sorry, I see right now that a lot of questions coming in. I'll be absolutely not fast enough to get all of them. So what I would ask you is to remember all your questions, and whenever I ask that we put them again into. So I have to put that out, that I don't see myself all the time. Great. Okay, so let's quickly start. You can see the chat also there. Amazing, you know, sometimes it works as I wish. So there is an open issue for the CEO part, and yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense to read through that, and there you will see how the status is at the moment, because I think that's quite a big project, because all the elements are different than in HTML, and the robots need to understand that. Getting difficult. Build something to hold the questions. It's also a good idea, but that would be a changelog, I think. What's Flutter Erklärt logo in English? I think Flutter Erklärt is just Flutter Explained. So, and logo is logo. So let's scroll a bit up. Let's see what we have. What is the, I have it now here. I have to. That's my first Q&A, so if there are any problems and technical difficulties, you know me. And yes, Minu, the stream starts right now, so I will try to answer your questions from now on. Cool. So what do we have? Flutter Crease. Yeah, thank you once more for that. Then we have, what's the best way to start learning making a to-do app? The best way is to try it out yourself. I would recommend you to not just jump right away into a tutorial that explains you every detail with state management and ideas on how to use everything directly. Try it out first. You have to create a plan in your mind and then slowly start to create it. If I can give you a hint, try to create a Dart terminal application rather than a Flutter application in to-dos. Because if you manage it to create the terminal application, you are pretty very close to the solution to create it with Flutter. And that will help you a lot to understand how classes work, how methods work, how functions work, what are the different namings, and then you can slowly build on top of each other. Also, I would recommend you first always start with Flutter a little bit so that you get ahead into the programming language. So highly recommend to stay as easy as possible, and the easiest UI that you can create is a terminal application. Also, you can work with a cool package called Dart Console, I think, and it makes a lot of fun because it works very easy. I hope that answers your questions, Geotisel. Else then we have MA, you have 2 questions even. So if I want my stream builder in Dart in general to consume an API, how that service would be implemented? Can you give us some pointers to implement streaming APIs? The language does not matter. If I want my stream builder Dart in general to consume an API, how that service would be implemented? Can you give us some pointers? So I can give you how I would do it, but there are tons of tutorials again. So what I will experiment with, I will quickly jump over here. So hopefully, so you will see the chat here and my monitor here. And what we will have a look into is a stream builder in general. And then we will have a look how the things are working if I have a streaming API. A streaming API can be a lot of things, right? It could be that a service provides us every 10 seconds some information, and we can create this stream actually ourselves. We don't even have to have an API for that. So an easy example would be probably Firebase snapshots. They always send you information as soon as they receive them, so you can get it from there. And the stream builder is nearly the same thing like a future builder. And you have a lot of benefits with that, because as you can see, for example, we have here the stream created inside of this tutorial, I would say. So I think we can even open up that a bit bigger. No, not sure anymore. Sample code, no. Okay, let's keep it for now. But what happens is we create 2 futures and we just yield them. So we wait 1 second, yield the 1, and after that we wait another second. And this stream we can even increase by yielding, for example, a 3 and let that run again. And if we wait, you can see on behind there, we wait, we get 1, we have 3, and then we closed this stream. So that means we can increase that more and more just to make you visible how the stream actually is working. So up and yield 4. And the cool thing about these let's say integrated documentation parts that you have here is that you very easily understand how these streams are working, and then you can see also how this snapshot is working. And now you would say, okay, this is not an API, and I can just say, yes, you're maybe right, but on the other side, an API is nothing different, right? It's an asynchronous method that you have a constructor with, and then you just yield the information. And yeah, so if you have a good example of an API, you can create it exactly like this feature here. And the cool thing, if you look then in the stream builder, it works exactly like the future builder. You have a stream that you can use. In this case, it's _bits, which comes up here, right? And after that, if you receive some information, you execute this builder function. And as you always know, you set up the information, what exactly type of information you get. In our case, it's an integer. And after that, you can use it as an asynchronous snapshot. And this asynchronous snapshot gets an error. It gets some information about when there is no error, about the connection state, and things like that, that you can, everything can use in order to show the stream behavior. Usually you don't have a case closed or done in your app if you have an API, because you wait indefinitely. But then you don't have to forget that you always want to also dispose your stream information, right? If you want to learn more and getting deeper into it, you can try to work with the BLoC pattern, because as far as I know, the BLoC pattern in the real BLoC is working a lot with asynchronicity and a lot with streams. Also a good idea is, I think there was the reactive Dart or something like that. I don't know anymore exactly. So reactive Dart. RX Dart. Yeah, RX was the name. So I think this one, the extension library, which increases, I think, a lot of the reactive X. Yeah, which helps you a lot with the different things, and you can also see these marble diagrams that can help you. Okay, I hope that helped you. So next step, what do we have else? Question 2. I hope that answers your question, MA. If not, please let me know in the comments immediately that I can jump on that. How can I watch subscribe to changes to particular document values without using Firebase? Data on real time, but are there any alternatives? Yes, there are alternatives. The easiest alternative that you can create yourselves are Websockets. And I quickly change again the scene. So if you don't know Websockets, they are working nearly the same way. And I love these packet images from time to time, because these are working with a polling mechanism. Usually what you would do is the left side. So I open that one up. Thanks to Microsoft Docs in that case, here. So what usually happens is our client pings the web server and receives an answer. So like, hey, do you have new information? No. Hey, do you have new information? No. And then you do it as long every 500 milliseconds or something. So polling is a really bad behavior, actually. Whoa, thank you, Minu, crazy guy. Thank you so much, amazing. By the way, at this point, there is soon, I work currently that we get some emojis that are customized to this channel. So if you have amazing ideas about, I don't know which, we need a mascot or like an animal that fits best to Flutter Explained or so, that we can create cool emojis to that. I was not sure if I should take myself and Mahtab or something, but if you have good ideas, please let me know. I need that. Okay. Head back to Websockets. So we have the client with the polling. So you always make a GET request, you get an answer, get a GET request, get an answer. But that's pretty boring and not really helpful, right? Because, well, you always need to have this traffic. It takes time. You don't know if the answer is correct. With Websockets, you do something different. The first request with Websockets is, please, web server, register this WebSocket for me. And then we wait on the client side and we wait for an answer from the web server. So if you are interested to get a bit dig deeper into that whole topic and maybe also look how Firebase is doing it, you can create your own little web server. And I created a video that will release next Thursday, I guess. And there you will see how you can create your own web server. And I think Shelf is always also providing already a WebSocket possibility. Yes, indeed, it does. And if you don't want to use Shelf, I think there's other options where you can implement the WebSockets. I would take a look here if you want to know more on how these stream syncs and things are working. And that will help you a lot, I think, of understanding how these mechanisms are working behind the scenes. Cool. So, what else do we have? Give me more. What are the main concepts need to learn building an app? Jay, I would say the most important thing is that you stick with it. If you have ever followed a stream of me, and if I had a cool idea on which project we should start next, and we started, I don't know, we started a to-do helper for YouTube. We started now the Flipkart, what was the name? Flashcard app. And we created so many different apps. as a developer, there is always something new and shiny. So the most important part is to finish something. I think Minu always already created a lot of apps and also Deepak. So you can maybe exchange with them. But one of the biggest problems is probably that you jump way too fast away. The main concepts to learn or that you need to learn, everything that is programming related. So if you really want to learn how to create an app in the future, you always need to understand how programming in the background works. That means you need to know architecture, you need to know about functions, variables, how methods work. Also a little bit of object-oriented programming will help you a lot, because all of that gives you the foundation that helps you to understand how, for example, Flutter is working or how Dart is working. And that's why I also say try to keep it as easy as possible in the beginning by creating an application or with a console or something, so that you get a feeling on how to do all these things. And I think I see right now that I missed your first question. Where can you use global keys? You can use global keys, for example, in a form. Or also if you want to access that specific widget later inside of your widget tree, which you do very, very, very rarely, then you can set a specific key, a global key, to that widget. It is used a lot under the hood and usually not so much by us developers, or not really. So if you do it, really ask yourself why I am doing it. Do I really need it here? So most of the times it's for forms actually. Cool. Is it possible to have an authentication with JWT with a repository pattern? To change between Firebase and JWT auth, the Firebase package uses a stream for the user, which makes it complicated for me. The Firebase package uses a stream for the user, which makes it complicated. Okay. I can see the problem. What you can do, so to answer your first question, yes, it is possible. If you want to switch between JWT and Firebase, what we do actually at our business at the moment is we are actually I worked on that today, so that's quite funny. So what you can do is you can ask for an authentication token on the admin SDK of Firebase. And the auth token will send you back like a string that is looking very ugly usually. And I think also Minu, was it Hamish? I'm not sure, worked on exactly that problem, that they wanted to create an access token from the server. And after you receive it back, you wanted to authenticate with this token. So that is obviously possible, but then you will use the admin package, and usually you need some kind of server that handles that things. The package of Firebase does a lot of things, and yes, it does it with a stream, but that is actually a good thing for you because you get more information, like for example, if the user has logged out, if he has changed his address or his information and things like that. So it can be easier for you in the long run to use the package actually. Also, I can just recommend it because Firebase is incredibly strong with package creation. And I learned that also the hard way because yesterday I created an infinity loop around a snapshot creation. And what I thought is, oh my God, if this snapshot creation was now created, I don't know, 1 billion times, and Firebase said something like, nope, or you have to pay now 1 billion euro. But Firebase was so smart that it cached the snapshot in between and just took it once, even though I registered it billions of times. So it is really incredible how strong these things are behind the scene and things we don't see usually. Okay, cool. So let's take a sip of water. Or in my case, a sip of coffee. So I'm trying to achieve my Q1, but without Firebase, but platform agnostic. Essentially, I'm trying to achieve my Q1. What is a Q1? Is that, but without Firebase, but platform agnostic? Okay. Cool. Sounds great. Hopefully you manage your Q1. So Flutter Explained logo. Logo is just that image, right? And Flutter Explained or Flutter Erklärt is just a translation of Flutter Explained, more or less. Build something to hold the questions. Whoa, now it's scrolled fast. Sorry, I'm very slowly with the chat. So what do we see? How to add canvas image in Dart PDF? Manas, very good questions. In 4 weeks, there will be a video about PDF generation, and I did exactly that. So that, actually, I think with the PDF generator package, I quickly switched and we can have a look. Pub.dev, so PDF. I think there is this nice PDF producer here. And what you can do is, thanks to this amazing PW, which means PDF widgets package that you can use here, this one, amazing, really cool package in general, because what you can do with it is it works like Flutter and you can create your whole PDF file. Highly recommend that. And as you can see, you also have an image package or image widget inside of it. And you can use that to create your image inside of the inside of your PDF document. So thank you for subscribing. Hope that if something don't answers your questions, right, I hope I come to the bottom and then we can re-talk about the things. Hey Summit, nice to see you. Hope you are well. Hope I answer it, say your name correctly. Oh, I've seen this merge section. Yeah. How to add canvas? My question is that how can I use animated builder for state management? Animated builder for state management? Wow, that sounds so wrong in so many places. What is the animated builder? I thought this class is more used for, yeah, exactly, to do something. So it's more for animation. So what you try to do sounds for me out of the first idea like a mistake. Hamish, don't do that. Just, it's not state management. You can use it for state management, maybe, but it sounds like a bad idea. Sorry. It was a hot topic in the recent life of Flutter? Wow. Okay, then you can see how far I am out. I don't think that would be a good idea in general, because if you misuse something like that just because it is possible, I just try to identify I'm in a team of developers, and now suddenly you come with the crazy good solution to put a state management tool in an animated builder. And I'm coming and reading it, and then I would ask, what is going on here? And it would be very difficult for me to understand from outside why you use this animated builder as a state management solution. I would have to read everything. Nothing is really speakable. So I think it creates a lot of disturbance rather than helps, actually. So that's my opinion. But yeah, as I said, it's just from my team experience, how I would do it or how I wouldn't do it. Really? I will have a look, Hamish. Maybe we create later an app together and then we will have a quick look. Okay. Monsieur Kuma, what is the difference in return and yield of snapshot? Aha. Whew. Okay. So 1 second. Sorry, guys, or people, everyone. Inclusive language, always important. Of course. So what do we have? This. And here we go. Back with some music. The chat is also open somewhere. Here we go. So, I have cancelled my abo with my internet provider, and I think they are pretty mad on me, so they always disconnect my internet every now and then, which drives me nuts, as you can imagine. Okay, but I think I'm back. Things are online, looks also good, see some chat. Thank you for waiting, and very much sorry that I left that quickly. Cool. Best library. So where have we stopped? The question is now, what did you receive as a last information? Was it something with marbles, or was it something with something else? I don't know. I have no idea where I stopped, so let's see. Maybe we get... Wow, you were so active. Thank you, Mino. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you for everyone who keep the stream going in the meantime. So cool of you. Great stuff that works so perfectly well. Woo! Is the chat working? Can I hear you? Yeah, I think so, right? Yeah. Whew. Hey Mohammed, nice to see you. I also just joined the stream again. Okay, so my last idea was to talk about the marbles, right? So the yield does taking the timeline that you have and put one marble after each other onto that timeline. So that's why you get the 0, 1, and so on and so forth. And it's nearly the same as you can see here in the iterator. Good. So, and now first I sit back, have a little bit less stress, because that was a pretty intense experience, I have to admit. Okay, so would you prefer BLoC or qubit pattern? That's a very good question. Actually, qubit is very close to how do you call it? Sorry, let's, I forgot the Snivio here. Which is the best way or the best library to handle navigation that works for both web and mobile, taking care of layout-based routing? I have a question, an answer for that. I saw yesterday, I think on LinkedIn, if I have that in mind. LinkedIn, I saw the best navigation image, the best navigation packages. And of course, I'm not logged in here. Best or top 10 navigation package Dart. Let me quickly check if I find them directly. Because there is quite a good answer. I think Fluoro was one of them, which sounded like that would be the one that I would use. So I don't know which website this is, but yep. So I think Fluoro is one of them. That one is done from Luke Baghetti. Can highly recommend him and his package. So, and then, oh, don't scroll too far. And then we have, besides of Fluoro, I think Auto Route or something is also a package that I would recommend. Auto Route. And all of them are also part of the identification of Flutter. So the Flutter team is currently thinking on how to improve the routers and the routes behind the scenes. And actually, as far as I know, so I can recommend these two, and I think there are pretty more that you can use. GetX is, if someone would shout out, GetX does everything best. As you know, I'm not the biggest fan of GetX. So what would you prefer, BLoC or qubit? I am a big fan of qubit, which is very related to the provider package pattern, and but BLoC is also good. If I would have a big, large project with a team, I would go for BLoC. If I would go for a solo project, I probably would go for qubit. Redux is also amazing. As you know, I was very happy to create the video for Redux because I had a lot of fun to work with Redux actually. I answered your question. That's perfect. Create a stream function on Dart and read an API very second, so I can then pass this stream function to the stream builder. Thank you. Perfect. Great stuff, MA. Very happy that it helped. Socket.io is because of the, I think, Websockets, right? So with Socket.io, you can even easier create Websockets. So good point, Deepak. Oh, I can go back to the transmission mode. Sorry that I'm so slow. I didn't expect so many questions. Awesome, because with that I can really work. I thought, hey, that's going to be boring, like 5-minute video, nobody cared. But hey, with that, really good. Thank you so much. It's only possible because of your great work here. Okay, what do we have else? Erkin Kurt is asking, do you use GetIt? If yes, how do you handle providing GetIt to widgets, unit and golden tests? Providing one single instance for tests violates the isolation, I think. Yes, what do you suggest? I think GetIt has a very interesting package or not package, but management of testings. So if you go to the GetIt package, and I use it quite frequently actually, and I know at Mahtab's company they also use GetIt quite extensively, so I can highly recommend to use it. And if you take a look into the testing framework, I think he wrote a lot of documentation, but if you look for testing, you also find this section here. And in this section, you can see that you can override the things that you receive from GetIt. So you can mock it away without any issues. And he's using it into integration tests and in unit tests, but you asked for golden file tests, right? I have to admit, I don't know. I did never done an golden file test with GetIt everywhere. But that's also mostly the case because I don't use GetIt inside of the UI. I usually use it to connect and glue the different services together behind the scenes. How could I help you now? We could write one. Yeah, but I hope that helps you a little bit. I don't know if you have ever done that. So I add also this into the chat. Good. GetIt versus BLoC. I would always recommend BLoC because it is a way more cleaner identity. So BLoC is a very clear, has one single purpose, and this is what we want, right? In development, usually one purpose, and don't just install things that you don't need. So GetIt is an amazing tool because it has everything inside, and I know I always hit a lot of people on front of the head that I don't like GetIt, but I saw it on Facebook. I tried this weekend to implement Facebook a little bit for Flutter Explained and skipped it again. And it's crazy how extensively GetIt is sold from everywhere. So I am careful with that. In short, solving real-world problems through tech. Indeed. What is Shelf? Shelf is a server-side tool that you can use to create a Dart server and creates you the middleware and helps you to keep everything aligned so you can create a good server architecture with it. And Shelf's WebSockets allows the same thing like debug Socket.io. If you have ever taken a look into Socket.io, it's a really interesting part for Dart. I think they also provide it, right? Yeah, here. So with Socket.io, you can also create these client and server information, and Socket.io is really incredible, and a lot of tools use it. I think Stream.io is also using it, if I have that right in my mind. Well, is it Stream.io? Damn, I don't know the package anymore. So what is going on today? So Stream.io, GetStream.io, of course, the #1 chat messaging app from Nash is part of this team, and also a lot of other hyped developers. I think even Fun with Flutter is also working with them together, and they allow to create a chat app in a very easy manner. So I can recommend to put that out. I did with them together the WebRTC video, which was quite a challenge, as you remember. So I hope that helps. Will that video of web server is creating and hosting our own server? I will make a series out of it. So Hamish, it will be, the first video is just an introduction on what is server client architecture. Because as you probably know, there are different tiers, like, okay, you have one client, one server, one client, multiple servers, and so on and so forth. And then we will create with Shelf a very basic web server. Hey Sergey, nice and welcome to the channel. And I think Minu can tell you also a lot about it. He also saw the video already because my members got the first time something for their money. Can you believe it? So if you are a member on this channel, you can you got like a preview on the video. So I try to now do that more regularly, that my members get like 1 week early access on the video. Don't promise anything, but it could be. I try to do it. Okay, but yeah, and then in this series, we want to take first a look on how to create a web server. Then after that, creating some HTML files like server-side rendering. After that, we want to take a look into Websockets, because what I would like to do, I saw a video on YouTube that created a little game with Websockets, so you could move two figures around, and I really would like to do something similar. And if it is just 2 blocks or something, would be very cool to create myself with Shelf. After that, we can go into the data storage, so saving a real database, maybe with Postgres SQL behind of it. Maybe also take a look in Conduit. I think, Minu, you also are on this Discord with the many people who are excellent developers, and just see how it's going further with this. But now I see right now that I switched somehow through the questions. I'm sorry. Too many of them. Yeah, program. You answered them all. Can you show your setup for live, like a mini setup tour? I can do that, Amish, if you are interested. So what you can see is at the moment myself, right? So you see the microphone, which is still the cheap one that I have from a friend. Thanks to him once more, because he just how do you call it? Gifted it to me, which was very kind of him. And then I can show you if I record videos, I use this Zoom. This is an HN1, you can call it. And this is for voice capturing, because my camera takes a very bad voice. And then I have this part with it. That's my Laravel microphone. That's the thing that I never know how to put best on my t-shirts. I have a ton of flash drive and hard drives because of all the video files that are amazingly large. What I can show you too is my light here. So that's this one. That's just a basic key light, you can say. At the moment turned on because it's dark outside. If I put that away, this is my couch. So if I want to sit here and talk with you a little bit, then I can do that too. And here I put just some lights on it. Regarding recording itself, I have at the moment I take this away. I hope that works. So you can see here the light, some images. And you have here the laptop that is currently recording you. So this is you, more or less. Okay. Also the chat is usually on this side, so you can see if I have the chat here and can see a little bit of the YouTube stuff. And then we have here now my working computer. This is the one that is working with you, with my keyboard, with my cup of coffee, or in this case cappuccino. We have my Razer Death Adder and my Razer Exact mat that I have since, I don't know, 20 years or so. Yeah, and on this side I have just my working laptop, as you see. And the worst part, if I have ever the chance to improve that setup, that would be this cable mess, because I don't know how to put it better, to be honest. And down here you have my computer. And on the computer I don't do anything at the moment, just playing games, if I have the time. So that was my mini showing up how my setup works. Usually. And my camera that I use for the video recording is up there. That's a Lumix FZ1000 or FZ1000. This one. And this is not a product show. I hope I don't make advertisement now, but this is the stuff that I use at the moment. And took me quite a while to get a setup that I like, or at least that I don't hate. But if I would have 1,000 or 1 billion euros, I would really like to improve everything of it. Like, I don't know. It starts with the cable management because I really hate it. The time that I need to set up for a video takes around 1 hour. To prepare this live stream here, I needed 1 hour just because I need to connect all these cables, put on the right cable there, having this one and so on. That's quite difficult at the moment still. So. I'm still looking for Flutter Dart package to authenticate against KeyCloak identity server. I don't even know what a KeyCloak identity server is, but it sounds quickly like JWT at the end. Identity and access. Okay, no, it seems to be something else. Probably you will have to write it yourself, I guess, if there is nothing. Maybe you find a good community, like here in the Flutter community, you will find everywhere people who are interested in helping you with that. So if you create an open source package, you usually get people to it. And I have to... Whoa. So, one-time scroller just to see what's on the bottom. So... this chat is also broken. Okay, so this chat is hopefully working. So, what's the name of your keyboard? That is Ergo. Ooh, don't let me lie. My keyboard name is, I think something with Ergo. Let me quickly check. Ergo. Oh, you know what? I can do something. You know what? I work with Amazon together, so let's try to get some money. I don't know. Ergo Logitech. I have no idea. Not this one is it? K860, I guess. I have it already several years.
Das habe ich leider nicht ganz verstanden.
Oh, go away, Siri. Mail Siri. So, yes, so that is the Ergo. I don't know. I don't know even which one. They are so different. But the cool thing about this Ergo keyboard is not only that it is looks like a wave, what I like, because you have a good tap on your hands, but as you can see up here, I have 3 keys. And these 3 keys allows me to connect 3 different devices. And if you counted correctly several seconds ago when I showed you the room, I have a laptop here, I have a laptop there, and I have a computer down there. So that means I can very quickly switch between the 3 devices, which I love. Since I have it, I love it. And the next thing I want to do is buying a mouse that can do exactly the same thing, like sending to 3 different channels, because then I could just tap and quickly switch between the channels. I would love that. Okay, but I have one active thing that was what I wanted to try. Okay, I try to go a bit faster now through the next questions, and then we try to catch up again to the bottom so that I can see the actual chat, because now I have like 2 chats on the sides and it's getting difficult. Okay, so I think here I was dropping out slowly. So what is the shelf? We have that done. So good point. I'm looking for the dark KeyCloak. Yep, JWT. You did that already. Deepak, great stuff. Pineapple on pizza. Yes, for other people. So I don't like pineapple on my pizza, but if you like it, go for it. Enjoy. Horrible. Yes, comes from Cass, you see? So from Minu. What about implementing JWT auth backend in Flutter app using Stream, just like Firebase, such that from backend the user can be kicked out of the session? Sure, you can do that. Absolutely, does make sense. I think. Not that shouldn't be a problem. I can dev mid-size app e-commerce, and I want now to contribute to open source. But once I read their discussions and codes and see their conf talks, I understand nothing. How can I reach their level? I know exactly how you feel, MA. When I started at Truffy, for example, I felt completely overwhelmed. I didn't understand the code. I didn't know how they work. I don't know about the team. And I don't know anything about their architecture. So what I can recommend you, take your time. It will take time, even though if it is a bigger project, you need to take the time there. especially to understand all the different parts. And what I can recommend you is not just hearing what they say to other people in conferences, because in conferences you talk differently, you know? Just try to get one issue somewhere. So for example, if you watched my Flutter helper where I tried to fix issues in the Flutter repository, try to take one or smaller issues and try to fix them. Because if it is small and you make your first commit into it, it's amazing feeling, people will like you, and you get slowly into it, and then don't give up on the project. What do you think about Flutter Flow? I think it is an amazing possibility. Make your video full screen. Yeah, I think I did that. Sorry, Minu. So yeah, Flutter Flow is a cool thing. I don't know how good and mature they are. Maybe I have to create a video for that separately, where I invest some time to take a look on how Flutter Flow is working. Maybe I can even work with them together in a video. Maybe they are interested. It's been a long week without these live streams. I know, I'm sorry. I needed to work again, and then it's always difficult to have the live streams running. Any news on the desktop portion? Well, they are live and most of the stuff is working. Do you have something specific in mind, James? It was a hot topic. Yeah, that was the answer for that. Cool. Hello, Flutter State Management, which to choose? If you have a big project with a team, then sit together, try to go with some projects and scale it and try it out, and after that implement it. Especially if it's a big project and you know it already now and you have, like, I don't know, tons of funds. Take your time to understand every benefit and downsides. Riverpod, BLoC, they are all good, but you as a team need to decide which one you want to go. I would take something that is still actively developed, maintained, has a lot of GitHub stars, have a good understanding. Maybe your team already has some background in something, like for example BLoC. Well, if you are coming from a Redux background, it's maybe easy to you to understand, or even Redux itself. But if you are completely new to state management, yeah, Riverpod does the same things at the end. Buffering here, yep, that was my crash, sorry for that. So let's see, now you managed to take over my stream, so I will now reload the page and go completely to bottom, and I think now I lost nearly all the questions. So what I will do now is we make now a cut and I will start from bottom. So when you have questions, please put them on the bottom, so I will look there. And Minu, yes, you conquered my live stream today. Who's running the poll? That's a good question. I think I have somehow managed that behind the scenes there is a poll running. Let me quickly check. That is Streamlabs, I think. And I have to quit this poll, but you can answer the poll actually, if I have that right in mind. Can I suggest a better way to build a chatbot in Flutter? It sounds a little bit contradictory. I know what you mean, but I will ask you to write it correctly. Because you ask for Flutter. Flutter is a client framework which creates you UIs. But what you want actually is a chatbot, and chatbots are usually more Dart, pure Dart usually. So I think what you want to have is a good solution to create a chatbot in Dart. If you want to have a UI, of course, for that chatbot, yeah, then it's a bit different. Do I have a better way? What do you mean with better compared to? I think I have never created a chatbot actually in Dart, but I heard a lot of videos about it, which are amazing. I love you too, MA. Great to have you all here, really. I love it. So, and now, do you have a good polling question? Should we poll something? If I'm already on that. Cloudbot, commands, modules. Why is there a poll running here? Test poll. We have 1 and 2nd. Okay. Close the poll. Completed. So, of course, Minu Hamish won. Cool. What is the optimal way to make screens responsive with landscape, portrait, and different screen sizes? Is it true to make 2 layouts, one for portrait and another one for landscape, for each screen in the app? So, difficult question. it is a possibility that you have, that you can make this responsive by creating complete new screens. Usually you take your widgets as small portions of your app, right? So you can do it even easier. You don't would create directly a whole screen for it. If you remember my layout builder video, I think it was one of my first videos, there was exactly this the topic where you can navigate between the two, and I created 2 screens for that. Would I do that today? Hard to say. I think if you have a look, Rezocoder, a good comrade of mine, of YouTube creator, content creator, Rezocoder, was creating, I think, a new video where he talks about responsive design frameworks, and maybe this helps you better to create your full responsive design in the end. So I just pasted the video down here so that you have the chance to take a look now or later. Uh-oh. Oh no, back. You did it with shelf. So here is a cool up. So scene. Minu is posting something. Wait, and it's Fluttermatic, your name, try this. Okay, so my name, get it a name, I don't know, Max. Hey Max! Hey! Nice! Do we get always a new picture whenever I change it? That's amazing! Yeah, the turtle, that's me. One. And this is all Flutter? Yeah. Or is it Flutter? Interesting. No, this is greet, data, Grammarly. No, this is something else. It's just an SVG. And this is a span. So what I would say is that this is not really Flutter web. This is something else, but I like it. Looks very cool, Minu. So coming back here, music's there, cool. So what's the best way to save device ID or make unique device ID so you can send them notifications? Okay, to save your device ID, I think you can access that all the time, right? So Flutter access device ID. Let's have a look. How to get a unique device ID. I don't know if you really have to save it or if you can just keep it all the time. Or do you want to send it to a server and then send it later? For the notifications, sure. So if you want to do that, you would need to create some kind of service that saves, or a server at the end, that saves the different unique identifiers and later sends it further to the notification service that sends the notifications out. I think that would be the way to go. Usually tools like, for example, Flutter or other notification, not Flutter, Firebase, notification services. I think if you find a notification service that supports Dart, then they will also allow you to implement that correctly. Firebase push, of course, Firebase is no problem. I think FCM, interesting. Yeah, so most notifications are handled by Firebase, so I can understand your problem there. Avoto Darbe, I told about Flutter CEO. I think we have somewhere the, I showed you, I posted the GitHub repository at the beginning of the stream, I think somewhere, maybe I find it directly. No, of course not. So at the beginning of the live stream, we had exactly that question. So there is currently an open, so the current problem is there is an open issue on Flutter and they work on the CEO part. I think it will take still some time because Flutter Web is completely different to usual web. So it will take some time. You did it with Shelf. That's cool. what is the latest development on Flutter Web? Is it faster now? It is way faster, and the cool thing about Flutter Web is now I think they implemented also different rendering possibilities to even support faster building in general. So let me quickly have a look. So if you take a look into the Flutter projects, I can maybe switch again and show it. So here we have, I was going to the Flutter repository to projects, and here you can see a lot of things. For example, Nevercode is the company behind Code Magic. So they are usually there to pick on issues, and also if you have things not, how do you call it? Triaged. So if there is no triage on the issue, usually Nevercode takes care of it. But what you also can see is like desktop stable, which is still in work, and iOS platforming. And I probably guess that there is also web and web add to app. Is that the only thing? Cannot imagine. PWA. Okay, so that's the only thing that is currently worked on, add to app. Splash screen, incompatible source maps. So I think the CEO part is actually not even part of this. Can we see it? CEO friendly. So had it as a lot of likes, but I can imagine that they are working on that. So a lot of discussion topics, of course. Let's see if we get something. Flutter build web BLoC. Yeah, okay, so there is a lot of discussion about this topic. So I cannot say you more than this, just have an eye on it. They are working still on it. I'm pretty happy with the results that they did in the last couple of months actually. And I'm really looking forward to have finally some CEO and faster web and everything works like it should do. Why stateful widget have two classes? That is a very good question, Akshay Bahir. Stateful widgets have always two classes, and if you would see a stateless widget as the basic widget, right, then the stateful widget is only the top part. That small one with the widget part is actually your widget itself. So this is what re-renders all the time, and it calls the build function of the state. But if you have a stateful widget, you have this state class inside, which provides you all the information that you want to keep a state on. And the build function will only trigger inside of the state and not inside of the widget. And that being said is that the widget is taking this into consideration. So it's a little bit different. So it's only for the framework itself. So it's an explanation of the framework here. Cool. So, hey Agamot, nice to see you. So I have an app that tracks packages, so I need to send them custom notifications for each tracking number when it moves. But wait, I think what's the best way to save device ID or make unique? We talked about that, but I can imagine that this was not really your answer that you searched for. And what is the problem there? Info about Flutter CEO, we talked about it. To save somewhere in a database, yeah, and then you have to read the Firebase database. That awesome. Is it so annoying? I really have. Can you tag that? So where are we at the moment? I think you can create a clip, or I need to watch that later. Because I don't know how I sound actually at the end. So if I say So no problem at all. You want to see code? You can also share the link of it later to Twitter. Oh, cool. You have that link. So I star, of course, the Fluttermatic API. Cool. So thanks a lot. I save the token each time the app starts. I always join the stream for the better to join the official. Thank you, sir. Please make video if possible. About Wait, Akshay, was the answer about the stateful widget? Yeah, I can do that actually. And honestly, I think all the time about to update the old videos where I talked about, hey, Amy, welcome as a supporter. Thank you very much for your support. Ah, another member joined the series. That means we can now create even more emojis, because I watched yesterday that if I get one more member, I can get one emoji more. Don't forget to answer the question which, how do you call it? Which mascot or animal we should get inside of here. Okay, so what do I want to say? I was here somewhere. I was confused. Yeah, you need to update the ideas when you save the app start. Enjoy the rest of your day, Amish. Thank you for joining. So you need to update those IDs if it refreshes. I think it's quite a challenge to update them all the time, right? Just update the old data. Yeah, of course, absurd, right? And thank you for sending the server of mine with the Discord. I know I'm pretty low with usage of the Discord server, but I think I have to revive that a little bit, because I like the idea of having still I like the idea to have a Discord server, but I need to also use it correctly, right? You're talking about JWTs. And why did I talk about JWTs? I used Firebase token and save it with the device ID, but now when I have more than 10k devices using the app, I found that the device ID isn't unique. The device IDs are not unique, isn't it? I didn't even know that. I thought they are unique. Huh, crazy. So, sorry, I cannot really help you here. Sure, Hamish, then I think the most important part of the Discord channel would be that we use it more frequently, like writing stuff inside of it and improve like how we want to work with it. And above, how to create a folder. I think you cannot easily create a folder in Android 11. What you can do is you can get a temporary folder file where you can save things inside. Ah, okay, FCM tokens. I see, I see. Ah, you have Fastlane Firebase distribution and GitLab CI. How can I build and distribute iOS? So Firebase distribution should allow you to directly distribute, right? So let's have a look. I know that. I have seen that. I have never used it, but I have seen that. So let me quickly go to the console and see what we can do here. If I have an app, yeah, let's take the Compario app. It's not ready yet, but maybe in the future. So we have this app distribution here. And I think with that, you can just drop an APK and it will release it. But I think, is that only for Android? Oh no, you can also switch between Android and iOS. The problem will be probably that you have to create already an iOS package for that, right? So if I see that correct, you need an IPA to create a new release. And probably you will need a Mac to create that one. And also you need a developer account in for Mac, so that's or for iOS, which usually comes with a pretty high price tag. Fastlane will just help you with building if the machine on which the Fastlane is working if the Fastlane machine that are working where you use the CI/CD, so I guess that your Fastlane is the CI/CD, then you will have the problem that you don't update it. But I'm talking, you see, it's getting late. It's now 1 hour of stream, so let me take a second. So we have Fastlane. Fastlane is usually there to build and create your application as a CI/CD. Firebase distribution sends now these APKs to the different parts. And last but not least, you have GitLab CI. And GitLab CI, it's interesting. I don't know what this does. I think you can use Fastlane. I think you can do it also in GitLab CI. If you build in the GitLab CI, you can pull, I think, different Docker containers. And if you have a Docker container which is running a Mac, this is even possible. I don't know, but if you could do that, I think you could also run it there. And the most important part is you need a Mac in any kind of way. So if you use this setup and you have a CI/CD there, you have to create this IPA, and inside of your Firebase application, you have to select between Android and iOS. And if you have created already your project with the iOS device inside, you can then put the IPA here inside to release it. Don't forget, you will still need to have a developer account for the App Store. Okay, that helped a lot to take a step back. I'm very sorry that I answered so fast. Yeah, so when you publish the app, you will need to permissions, that's true. I don't even know if you can directly create it, but you need access all files, external. Ah, you can create folders? Really? I didn't know that, to be honest. Sorry very much. So Android create folder. Flutter, let's see. Get application context, get external files dir. Yeah, okay. Ah, you know why I didn't thought you can create folders? The reason is I use always the path provider, and I think the path provider mocks that away from me. And there I get always this temporary, and here you have the documents. Okay. So I'm very sorry. Yes, you can. So you can create it. And I think path provider will even help you there to create the folders and files. So I share that quickly. Sorry, Minu. No, you can't? Okay, that maybe now I'm getting slowly confused. So if I have all folder, okay, maybe I was too fast. Can you use? You must get external folder access. Yes, okay. Of course, I mean, that is entitlement, right? So you could add that as an entitlement, Android, external folder access. Let's have a look. Developer Android, scoped storage enforcement, Android 10, manage device storage, action clear app, get external files, media files, data from others. On apps can no longer access files in other apps. Dedicated app specific directory with external storage. Okay. So it seems to be a bit more complicated since all file access, sharing files, sharing non-media, manage files. Sorry, I've never done that, so I will be a bit careful here. Maybe Minu can help you here. So, fill a form, why you need permission. Can you use UID? That would be the best way, of course, to create these things. So we must wait for SAF for it in Flutter. What is SAF? So I hope that is the right thing that I found here. Including the following document provider client. Okay, it's completely new. It's completely new build for Android 11. Okay. And you think there is nothing yet there? Cannot imagine. Get storage. No, that's an own storage. Interesting, very interesting topic. Maybe I create a video for that, I think, as soon as I find something. It's done. Totally headache. Interesting. So, and is it difficult to create a bridge for that? Like an internal creation? So your Fastlane have some errors and cannot convert the archive. Well, it's very difficult to help you with that error if we don't have a direct look into the errors, right? So if there comes up an error, we need to understand why there is an error. You can use Fastlane. Where can I find the form? I think, wait. Good question. For the GitHub Actions, best CI/CD. I like GitHub Actions too, but I'm not sure if it is the best CI/CD to create everything for the Flutter project. That highly depends on where you work for. Do you think for GitHub Actions a Mac is not required? It's also a good question. I don't know that, to be honest. That's a very good question, MA. What is a tip to make it faster and smoother app acceptance? I know that as soon as you have it once released, it's getting easier in the future. So whenever you release your app, the Apple team is trusting you and trusting you more, and it's going faster and faster. If you don't have the name Epic inside of your name, I think since the last problems with the Epic Store, they don't like, or the Epic Games, I think they don't like you as much. No, you can't. You must get a no, not sure. Total headache. Below R, it works perfect. So you can see immediately that there is a lot of discussion about folder creation. Yeah, get some deals with Apple company. I think that's also a good point. Logitech MX Master free. Let's have a look. It has also free settings, or is it just Bluetooth possibility? Ooh, that's pretty cool. Okay, I will have a look here into. I will keep that in my mind. Thank you very much. So, and I think slowly we are ready with all the questions, or at least what I can see so far. That was a quite interesting live stream. I had a lot of fun. We learned a lot, I think. And now it's, yeah, sorry, it's going to 8 o'clock-ish. Welcome back, Kaz. And I think there is not so much more open, is the method I'm thinking. It's the best mouse out of it. Throughout Win on Mac. Yeah, it seems that you can copy paste and it's saved on the mouse space, and then it will get copied into somewhere else, I guess. Pineapple on pizza, I answered with for other people very much likely yes, but not for me. So Minu is a very big fan, I hear it. There is a new third-party payment gateway for iOS after the judge rules against Apple. That is true, but makes the things not easier yet. I think they put revision into that judgment's rule. And so it will take another year or something until we really are free of the Apple judgment. Did I ever talk about my Flutter origin story? You know what? That is the perfect timing to watch a video together, because what I did the last time is I was scrolling through my own videos, because I'm a bit of a narcissist. I always watch my own videos, and just to see what I make for mistakes and what I'm doing and what I'm getting better with and so on. And as you can already see, I did tons and tons and tons and tons of videos, But one video, and I was in New Zealand, and as you see, I was also I think 4 years ago, I was a game YouTuber. So that's why my original name, I think Lion Ranger is the name, right? Lion Ranger? Yeah, no. So somehow if I go to my own channel and I click somewhere, I think, does it work now? I think if I search for Flutter Explained here, and I'm coming to my own channel and click on it. Oh no, now it's working. Okay, YouTube improved, so that's good. But if I scroll a bit down, sorry, didn't want to collide here, but I think somewhere down here, let's make that it. I think you don't hear it anyway, but if you see that video, I have a lot of stories about that. That was my very first Flutter related video that I did with Mahtab, and I was completely excited. Like my very first video doing stuff with video editing and things. And today, if I see that video, the only thing I'm thinking, why are there so many cushions everywhere? And this is the house of my Mahtab sister. So I was going into their living room and recorded there because we didn't have an own space. We were on travel, you know? And there it started. So it was in New Zealand. I worked mostly with C# in the backend with Angular, and I hated front-end development I didn't hate it. I didn't really liked it to work with JavaScript in the front end. So I searched something else. And then I had a short look into Xamarin, and Xamarin is like a nightmare, yeah, if you come from an agile development like I am. And so I started with Flutter. And then I did a video where I removed some new flags on a flat button because I didn't have a clue. Then I talk more with cushions and things, and then I give you a room tour through the living room and space in New Zealand where I was at my from Mahtab sisters. So I put some kitchen videos. So, but the music is awesome, and I was highly motivated. So that was where I started more or less. And my very first project I did for Chingu, and I don't know, I think it's still there on GitHub. So if you check for Chingu, maybe I have something. Prove the design system. Not sure anymore. I think I had that somewhere here. Chingu Flutter. It's so long ago. That was my very first project, and I had it even on Heroku. Maybe I have there still access. Heroku.com. And so I started very briefly, like I had no idea about Flutter, and started to create a YouTube channel because I had already some experience with... I have to... Yeah, we do that, but not now. So maybe I show it to you later. I created a journal, writing stuff every day. And that was a very basic, but it made a lot of fun to create all that. Yeah, and if you come, yeah, so you see Xamarin is horrible, so you know what I'm talking about. That drove me so crazy. And then I also tried Ionic and things, but I never came as close to a good language like, for example, Dart and Flutter. I really liked the typed system. I was so impressed by it. And I just loved how that stuff is working, you know? You could easily develop something. You had hot reload. You had an amazing possibility to have a lot of dev tools, getting information about your different states. You had testing possibilities in a fast manner. I was coming from, we worked with, in Angular, we worked with two testing libraries. The one was, I think, for component tests we had, what was it? So I don't know anymore, but we had component tests and unit tests, a lot of them, like over 1,300 unit tests. And it took 3 or 5 minutes till all the unit tests was running through locally. And it was horrible. It was just so bad. And I really hated that. So I decided to search something that really can also test things. Quickly have to skip the music. So thank you. So, and with that, I just started. The good thing is I'm now a pretty long developer, right? With my, I don't know, 8 years or something. And yeah, it helped. It helped a lot to understand all these things, to learn more about Dart and Flutter. And from there, I tried more and more things, actually. Every day I learned something. My first live streams that I did on this channel here were also in German even. So even more crazy stuff at the end. We have still some time, let's code. Okay, so how long do we stream here actually? So without my outage, I think we are already quite some time in it, or not? Let's have a look. But you know, because you asked me so nicely and you always support me, so let's code something. What could we do? Do you have an easy thing, or should we maybe create some tests together? Should we maybe take a look into the Dart coins again? Just an hour. Pah. It's nothing. 1 hour talking, right? Captcha. So how should I do now a Captcha in 1 hour? You know, that's nearly impossible, I guess. We have that. I have some VS Code here up and running. I don't even know where to start with a Captcha, to be honest. So, well, how do we create your own Captcha? So there is an anti-captcha.com. I think that's exactly the opposite. So here we have one for PHP, blah, blah, blah. Input thing, random character. Secure function, generate random strings, render the Captcha background. Okay. So there is it, completely easy. Okay, but actually we can directly copy that over. I think most of the stuff we can directly take. So we generate a string with a string length. I think this is just for showing off. The parameter variable stores all the character that we want to use to generate. Our function creates a 5-letter string by default. But you can change the value by passing a different parameter with generate string function. Generate a cryptographic secure random string. You can to generate random strings and make the Captcha harder to guess. This parameter, okay, we can do that with SHA, I think. Random char, okay. Random int input length -1. Change we can make the third party function, the third party secure is true by default. Render the Captcha background. Image create, image anti-alias. Getting different colors, image fill. Very interesting. Okay, but let's have a look. I think we can close Photoshop. So what we would need is Flutter in that case, because we want to do something that we can see, right? So Flutter, new project. Wait, let's head over to a real AIDE. In that case, if we are working Flutter, we can use Android Studio. The concept is simple, just a random string made in an image, otherwise it could be scrapped by robots. Okay, but I saw it right now that we don't want to have an image, we want to have something that is also randomly, right? So that the computer don't take away the things. Generates a random alphabetic character. I don't have Git Copilot, actually. Why do you think I would cheat in development? So. So, should we use VS Code? Is this a wish, or is it just... I mean, we can switch all the time, right? I don't have a problem. Just wanted to make sure that I have the most comfortable screen here. So, Captcha. Yeah, that's true. I have tab 9 and I hate it. Every second I use it, actually. It's just slowing down my machine, and usually it gives me things that I don't need at the moment. I don't know if this will ever get better, but at the moment it's really a bit annoying. So, Captcha on Flutter, or Flutter. So, Flutter. Yeah, I like that. So, whoever. If you have a better name, please let me know. Flutter Explained. Go for it. Finish. What about Flutter Apprentice? That is the new book, right? I had not the time to take a look into it, actually. Recaptcha Apprentice. I think that is for free, like the first 3 months or something like that, right? So if something is for free and someone has written it, I would highly recommend to just take it. What do we have here? Chapter 1, getting started, widgets, more widgets, navigation, data persistence, state management, stream deployment, and Firebase. Actually, it sounds pretty good. So there's also a live stream. I think Mahtab wants to take a look into it. Wow, is that a live reading? Ah, the Flutter community is just amazing, really. Yeah, I can see the benefit of it, but I don't know, maybe I just use it wrongly. I have no idea. Maybe I have to improve there and you can give me some tips. I will complain to them. Poor guys. Okay, so I think we can do it inside of web. If we are doing a web captcha, let's do it in web, right? So while this is building, we can maybe quickly clean up our application, putting everything outside that we don't need. I think I will remove that stateful widget down here. No need for that. And we create our reCAPTCHA. Thank you, Deepak. So creating, no, we do it like this, stateless, bap. Nope. See, you see, that is annoying. So now I have to go stateless and go one up and create it. Okay, reCAPTCHA. A Discord bot, that would be also amazing. Let's see if we can finish that off also as quickly as we do now this reCAPTCHA. So scaffold, we have a body, we have inside of that body a container, inside of that container, and I think we don't even need a container. We can just create a center widget. And inside of this center widget, we want to have a child. Zack. And this child is a container for now, or even a size box to make it really simple. Has a width of 150 and a height of another, I don't know, 300. No, let's make this 100 and the other one 300. Something like that. Is working with Android Studio better than working with Visual Studio Code? It is nearly the same like with Visual Studio, but be careful. Visual Studio is another complete other IDE, but I guess you mean Visual Studio Code. That highly depends on your machine. I like Visual Studio Code whenever I need a lightweight solution where I just want to write something, and if I want to write pure Dart, because Android Studio is not that good with pure Dart. The rest is up to you, because everything else is more how do you know the keyboard shortcuts, how fast can you write. I will also activate the key drawer, by the way, to make it a bit cleaner what I'm typing. So it is a lot up to you. Yeah, if you have a lot of RAM, I don't know, I can maybe, if we are quiet and I put off the music quickly, you see, let's make that quiet. Yes. And if I put that a bit back and hold it here, you can hear Android Studio. So I hope without putting off the limiters. You could hear that. It was a horrible sound because it is the, how do you call it? The fans that are working behind it. Ah, your ears. Good. So, yeah, that's that. What's the best way to learn Flutter? Well, first of all, subscribe to our channel, of course. And after that, I think Twitter is a very good idea. The documentation is great. I would recommend you start with Dart, learning like to create a Dart terminal language, creating Hello World. And yeah, I don't know if you like to read books. I highly recommend you check out the new Apprentice book, or if you or what created. I think there was also another book that I have linked down in the video description even. And else there is live streams that you can follow. There are a lot of fantastic YouTubers that you can follow. The Flutter documentation is great. Create your own projects and go always the step, try something yourself. And if you don't find the solution right away, then look at your tutorial. Never watch a tutorial and do what they do. And after that think, oh, I don't know how it works. Because that is usually how tutorials work, unfortunately. Winter's coming. That's true. Actually, it's pretty cold here inside. You're most welcome. Sadly, it won't. I have custom built PCs, so no one's of getting hot. Ah. So what are you doing, Minu? Do you creating bitcoins? On the other side, by the way, cryptocurrencies, I also joined the club now. I bought my very first cryptocurrency and I felt a bit bad about it. So, back to that. So we wanted to have a size box and we want to create a random key, right? Did we say so? Generator or random string generator. So now I have to quickly get out of my TypeScript and JavaScript world and quickly have a look. So we have not final, we have this. I think it looks like this, yes, and we return a string. So at the moment we don't return anything. So this method will lead us to a string that we then want to show here inside, right? So I don't know, has this a child? Yep. So this gets the random string generator execution. So, okay, so whenever we create the build method at the moment, we would ask this part. And if we take a look into our Chrome browser, which is here, we should now see, if I enter here something, hello world, the text inside. Interesting that it's not really centered. Ah, of course, because my size box is not perfectly. Since I come from JavaScript and C++ background, so learning Dart wasn't hard. Yeah, I can imagine that. That was pretty easy. And I can also understand why you get some problems with Flutter, because if you don't getting used to the idea of declarative UI, then it's pretty hard. If you're coming from help me, React, then it's easier again because you learn there a lot about these. If you just created some web apps, then Flutter is really a bit of a challenge to get your head around because a lot of the things are difficult or harder to grasp. But I can imagine that also you challenge and get that easier done step by step. Not financial advice from Flutter Explained. Yeah, I'm very bad with financials, to be honest. I am having a good overview about my bookkeeping, so my housekeeping, but I am not one who sells and advertises a lot of things, so sorry. Not my biggest deal. I have to tell you a story or one or two. My very first answer for a sponsored video was coming from, I can't say names now, but coming from a company that we all know. And interesting enough, I created the video and everything, and I was too afraid to finish the video off, so I didn't get paid from them. So I just released it without getting paid at the end. Also now, Mahtab created a sponsored video, And also she had like tons of stress with everything that surrounds the video. You know, the video itself is very easy to create, but talking to the customers, taking time to invest to understand everything correctly, also synchronize that the things they expect match a little bit that what we create. All of that was so complicated from time to time. So we are still really bad in creating sponsored content on this channel. We upload an app to Google Play. Where do we upload our app? Okay, it's gone. Okay. So let's try to create our random generator. So what we want to do is create a string length that we don't know yet. So that could be also final string length equals, let's say 6 for now. And these 6 strings have to be generated automatically. So how do we do that actually? Web. If you upload your Firebase web app, you can use the Firebase CLI. Do you mean this web app now? I didn't have thought about it, to be honest. Do I have Flutter? No, Firebase. I think if we have the Firebase CLI, we could even upload that. Downloads the pubspec. So we have it installed. So what should be possible is that we can host it, I think, very easily even. But let's first create something useful, I think. Yeah, classes, stateless. I think also what a problem is in larger Flutter project than I is that you get a lot of different files, and if you don't be careful, you create tons and tons and tons and tons of files. And I saw now, I think 4 or 5 different large projects, like for example Invoice Ninja, and these projects are huge, right? You have a lot of files, which makes it very verbose. And I think that is one of the downsides of Flutter in the general. Can I talk about Flutter state restoration? I've been working with Flutter for a year now, but I still have not a lot to learn. Actually, I don't have so much experience about state restoration. In most of cases, it just works. And for the answer where we can host them, yes, GitHub is a possibility. Firebase, Code Magic is very easy to implement and build and deploy your app. What do we have else? Yeah, Heroku would be a possibility, like Minu did it. And now back to our problem. So you say I should use random, but random is not random enough, or can we not work with SHA-512 Dart? I think we can, or so that would be my preferred way to do it random, because we are doing it random. So let's copy that over, bring it here, terminal, let's go. Exactly, so edit the dependencies, and I think to create now something so something really random, we can use this SHA thing. So how do we do that? File name, blah, blah, blah. Hasher bind first, what? Bytes UTF, SHA convert bytes. Output SHA-1. Start junk conversation. Convert data, bind, cast, fuse, start first chunk. Can I not just create one? Okay, to be honest, I thought it would be easier. Essential topics need to be learned for Flutter interview. I give you always a tip. If you are going to an interview, no matter if it is Flutter or anything else, First of all, be confident to don't know things. If you don't know anything, nobody rips your head off. That is a valid answer. I don't know, because don't forget, in development, there are tons and tons and tons of knowledge, and you cannot know everything. You should know the foundations. And for that, I give you another tip. What I do when I be in interviews and I lead the interview, so I ask questions to others, I have several expectations to them. They should know the fundamentals, and they should be willing to learn. That is more important than anything else. And if this is the case, usually what I come up with questions is I search for Flutter interview questions on GitHub, because you have to think about me as an interviewer also needs to find questions that I will ask my interview people. And what I'm doing is, of course, I Google for them. And where do I search them? Well, in sites like this, and have some good ideas what to look at. So if I ask you, for example, hey, what is the difference between main axis and cross-axis alignment? Then you should have a good answer or something like that. So always add GitHub is a very good point. So if you search for interview questions for a topic related, always add GitHub, then you will find tons that are pretty good. Don't take always the first, take the third or something. Try to be the interviewer. I think that makes it easy. So they are just using SHA to generate string that are a bit more random than the default pseudo-random generator. My website is currently hosted on Netlify, great CI/CD, and I think they also have a free tier. Yeah, true, Netlify. I use that for my Gatsby websites that I currently try to create. So, but back to the problem. So how do I create now from this SHA? I need some key, SHA key, UTF, encode password. We need a string to SHA it. That's a bit unlucky. Source B in what did you send me here? You sent me a bucket, so I'm cheating now, but hey, it's the end of the stream. Thank you, Minu. Flutter architecture video. I think I created already one from them. But you want a complete one? Okay, that can take a while, I think. So print random string, you know, I take that now. Thank you, Minu, for the hard work. So, like Stack Overflow copying, I feel very nasty right now, but my head is not working correctly anymore. So string from charcode code units, random string. So the problem is now that this here gets an int of length. So what I will do, I will pass that directly in, rid of that, and done. List of int generate. Right, the generate function. I always forget that. And if the length is null, then we have 66. So the question is, why can the length be null? So that we have a default one. Okay. We have an index. I think we don't even need the index, right? So we can get rid of it. We have to. The generator creates it for us. Okay. Return random next. You see, I'm coming from the JavaScript stuff. I want to delete things that I'm not allowed to delete. So where do we have it? I lost my chat here. Use underscore. I could do that, and 66. Yeah, I think it's okay. 5. Really, it's Copilot? You just paste it in the code bin then. Okay, cool. So I can use underscore if we don't use it. That's true. With that, you say this is a known pattern for unused. And I think for that int, we could also just remove that because we know that it is an int, right? So then we have this random next. I think we can even put that here inside. And with that, we are more or less done. Plus, what is that plus doing? Oh, let's see. Okay, we get that. So let's add here a length. Why can it not be null? Ah, okay, in my case it cannot be null. That's the reason. So this makes no sense. So let's add 5 here. And let's see how the website behaves. Run compiling errors, okay. What did you send me here? What is that? From char codes? Where's the what? Frame timing on Dart UI. Hot restart. Okay, the same issue. Let's restart it quickly just to make sure. Yeah, right. I thought the same thing, but is there a char code between 65 and 81? I think the usual keys are from 1 to 26 or not. So we have RFMHT. They don't start at 0, right? They start somewhere. So what do we get now? Okay, got it. Yeah, no, I think it is where the strings start in the, how do you call it? Inside of the memory space of Dart itself. So inside of that, it starts with 65 probably, and then we get that. Okay, so we got already the text. So this is what we, now maybe we can add some line spacing and things, that we add some styling, text style. And inside of here we have some spacing, right? So maybe letter spacing. Let's add 15 to make it a bit larger, like that. Well, what happened here? I want to see what Abby wrote. Unicode. Yeah, Unicode could be. I'm sorry, Abby, that you got removed. I don't know. It directly asked you to refrain from spamming caps. Jeez. Use canvas. What do you mean use canvas? Surrounding the, instead of this text here, or do we have canvas? What does it do? And again, I never have used canvas. So what is that again? Creates a canvas for recording graphical operations into given picture recorder. Graphical operation that affect pixel entirely outside the given cull rect might be discarded by the implementation. However, the implementation might draw outside these bounds. It's optional. By default, all operations are kept. To end the recording, call picture recorder end recording on the given recorder. So we create some kind of recorder, and that one records now how we draw things, or how do I understand that? So we have a record. No, we can just pass it in. We don't need these texts anymore. Okay. What you all know? Jeez. I thought I'm the expert. So cool, but I didn't even know that canvas is used below the scenes. So I can imagine that a custom painter is a better idea for me then. But is it just for the background? Yeah, right. So it's just for the background to create that. So I will keep the size box quickly. So bring that back with my width of 300 and height of 100. So, and then this text would be, or the whole size, no, the text would be wrapped in the custom painter. You want to convert the text to paint. So that you can select it, of course, right? Mino, what are you doing with me here in the last days, last seconds? You can render the text in the custom painter too. Okay, so let's have a look. Custom painter, render text. I think that should be the default, right? Because the custom painter is probably on the bottom, and the text widget will use that probably. I would guess so. So hit test, rebuild, draw rectangle. So would I need to draw it? No, that cannot be it, or? If it's a text web scraper can access the text. Yes, indeed. And then it could copy it over and put it down, and then we don't have a reCAPTCHA, right? So we have to draw it. So I think the text widget will be not the thing that we need, but somehow this one will draw probably the text onto the style, right? We have that, we have the result, semantics. Maybe I find something. So widget result, rich text. The rich text has, let's take a look up there. Multi-chat child render objects. Have a look here. List children multi render object element. Nah, okay, I have no idea. So let's have a look. Going back. So we removed that. We want to use the custom painter for now, just because I know it a little bit at least. Custom painter. Here it is. So repaint. No, custom painter is the one that we want to create, but we need a yeah, let's just quickly Google draw text Flutter. Text painter. There is a text painter? To paint text on a canvas, use a text painter. So within my custom painter. Page not found. Yay. I found the answer as a text span, new text span, color gray. But this is drawing it itself. So text span is not the right thing, I guess. Can I make an alphabet tracing app on Flutter? Probably yes. With Dart, 100%. That's thing the same, yeah. One thing people are aware before copying the code above is relatively to recreate the text. Where possible, you can use around and reuse it, only calling layout. Okay. Ian Hickson, ooh, our Flutter grader. Text painter paint called when the text streamer was not calculated. I can create a new text painter every time and it works. To paint in Flutter, you can use the custom painter object as a parameter paint method. Okay, and how can I follow now the text that I would like to see? We have a text painter, text span. Aha, we created text span. And then we put it into a text painter. Paint canvas, okay. Okay, let's try that. So we have a painter with custom paint. So, and this one is now our widget, which uses the custom painter, the class to extend when creating custom painters. A widget that provides a canvas and which draw a paint face, okay. So where is the difference now to the custom painter? Ah, this is what's used. Ah, sorry, it's really late. So we have that custom paint, and here inside we pass in now a child, and here we can then use the painter itself. So I don't know what the child it needs to be, but it could be the sized box. So we can leave it out for now. And we have the painter. And the painter is now our, I don't know, text custom painter, for example. And this one we have to create. So we have a class extends, and what do we extend? The custom painter. Like that. Now we have to implement the two missing overrides. That is one time the paint method, and the other thing is the should repaint, which we can set to false for now. And that should be it. So can I make an alphabet tracing app on Flutter? Yes, you can. Use custom painter to draw over canvas. So just that I understand it right, alphabet tracing app would be you want to go through a website and then check for, I don't know, text, or you want to go for it. CEO Deepak was joined. It was amazing to have you here today. I hope you got something from it, and we will see you soon. Thank you, Abi. So, okay, so we get our canvas. The canvas is more or less a canvas that is as big as this sized box here inside. So we can work with that. And now what did they do? They created now crazy stuff, right? So first of all, they created a text span out of the text that it received, and text styling. You know what? I will be mean and I copy that over quickly just to see what happens. So we get that. So the text here we will receive from top, right? So what we will have is here some kind of text that we receive. And I think not like this. It will be here. The text customer painter will get some information, like for example the text. And here we receive this dot text. I think this, and this is of course a string. And now up here we have to pass it in. So this is our random string generator. We pass in 6 letters. So now let's have a look. We paint that. I think black is a good color. Make it big. Text span hello world is wrong. That would be also this dot text. We pass in the text style, text painter. We use the text span for that. Text painter layout, min width is 0. Max width is the whole size of the canvas that we have. Cool. So then we have the X center, okay, and the offset, and then we just say paint it. And we paint. How does that work? We use the canvas and the offset. The offset is X center and Y center. Crazy stuff. And that works now? No, right? A lot of broken stuff. Let's quickly restart the whole thing. I don't need this, okay. So maybe I should check your repository. What have you wrote? This is that, and this is the repository. So Captcha generator, and yeah, probably this will just create this. And how does it work? We have the index TS. No, TS. Examples. More TS. It's just painting to the center of the canvas. Yeah. Now I open it again like this. I have an error. Okay, F2. Why is that red? Try adding a function body. Yeah, you shouldn't break it. Minu, you saw it earlier than me. So you say I should go into the index TS. Okay. So creating a canvas and then, aha, and you want that I write all of that today or copy it over? So now we have rendered the text actually, and I cannot select it. So that's a success, I think. Do I have a SEO solution? If I would have a SEO solution for Flutter and Dart, I think I would receive a lot of appreciation, and my Flutter YouTube channel would not have only 20,000 subscribers. I think that we would explode somehow, because that would be like the golden grail in Flutter at the moment. Can I inspect it? That's a good question. We can do that. So how does it look like if I inspect it and select it? So because of the Flutter flame, no, we cannot find it. So that means inside of these glass panes, it's just getting drawn. And as you can see, because we get a canvas back with the width and so on, it's just drawing on that little thing here, I guess. So we cannot scrape it at all. That's pretty cool, actually. Flutter glass, yeah. So I don't know if you still saw that correctly, but here on the left side, you have the inspector, right? And I just searched for the string that is written here. So XAAE, nothing there. And now for a nice captcha, you randomize the character size, rotation, blur, background. Okay, so let's do that next. So to randomize this text here, random dot next int, and I want to multiply it by 30. I think, why is it not working? I should execute the next int, so. And next int, he wants to have a the max. Okay, cool. So take that. So can I also describe the minimum? I think I have to multiply it, add that, right? So if the minimum is 10 or something, then it's something like this, right? So, and with that, we have covered one more thing. The downside is it is now for one text span. So we have to create multiple of them, right? So what we would have to do is we now get the text. I have to split the text. Split, we get like, I pass in nothing. So, and with split, we receive now a new list. The pattern is nothing. So with that, we get a list of string, I don't know, letters. And now we would need to create all of that for each letter, I guess. And then we have to add it one by one to the text span, right? But the problem will be probably that I cannot write from the center, because then we would put it always on top of each other. So we would need to move every letter one side to the side. You know what? We try that. Why not? I mean, now I started. So var, we have a letter in letters. We can do that stuff here. We get this random number. We put that everywhere inside. Can I not create? We have this text style. And if I create a text style for each text span, and the text span always contains only one letter, can I then not combine that inside of this? No, this is just a text painter layout. Difficult to say. So what do I receive from that? Text painter layout, final text painter. So I would need to create all that. And I needed to paint that too. So something like that could work probably. Yeah, they will overlap each other, but that's fine for now because I have a plan. Don't believe it, but I have a plan. And I take this, and what I could do is oh, there comes a good idea. So default font has fixed letter width, so you'd be able to just offset it by a default width times index every time. Exactly what I thought. So I got these letters, but now I have this for loop, and I think that's not a good idea. What we actually need is a for loop with the index, right? So for var I equals 0, we have I smaller than letters dot length, and last but not least I plus plus. And reason being is that we got now the letters with the index or I. So, and here we could then just add, I don't know, the offset. We have here the X offset and the Y offset, and now I have to move it always. So the easiest way would be move it for now to one direction and then have it look how it works. So we add, I don't know, No, keep the center for now. Can I? Yeah, here I can do. So I add here something and I will take the I times 10 just to see how it turns out. Not beautiful, but hey, something happened. So 20, let's see. So that's pretty random. So next step, what do we have else? We have the randomize on an app, but it requires some refactoring. I hope that. So rotation, can we rotate them easily? That's a good question. How can I rotate a text? Text span. Do we have there drawing text in a specific spot using Flutter? Can you draw text at an angle? Can you draw text at an angle? Context offset, is it possible? Rotated box widget. Okay, rotated box widget. How would I do that? So currently we have a text span here, and I think the text painter will use that. Transform? Yeah, the problem is probably that I cannot just pass in a transform widget here inside, right? Inline, text direction, text scale. Look at that, I could have used the text scale factor and random that one. Ah, oh, damn it. That would be way easier. Why do you even need to search for string? Now it is not more a string. What? Yes, it shouldn't be a string, right? I don't want to be able to copy the thing, right? No more star. How can we rotate now everything that we want to paint? Can we not say paint.rotate or something? Can you not do something cool? Get box for selection, get full height, get line boundary, offset, get position for offset, get word boundary, paint, preferred line height. Text align, text direction, text height behavior, scale factor, width. Sadly, not so easy, I think. I decided to use Django as backend with Flutter, with JWT token, where I have a store refresh token. Is it safely to store it in a local storage? Usually yes. Actually, that is what happens. Also, you have on the most phones a so-called secret storage, and I think you can use that. Canvas has rotate and scale method, but that's the whole thing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, me too. Transform, why not transform rotate? How and what should we transform? The problem is, I guess this text painter, the text here inside, is an inline span. So I cannot rotate, I cannot give him something different. So that means we have to get text span, and I think I cannot rotate that either. So probably now we would have to create a full canvas. We would not be able to do it with just that one. Or what we also could do, create for each letter an own box inside of our Flutter, so that we say, okay, every box gets something different, and then we can transform it. Yeah. Sadly, what can we do? On enter, on exit, no. And the text style don't have anything either, or letter spacing, background decoration, maybe the text decoration. Ooh. What takes the text decoration? I have no idea. the decoration to paint near the text. Underline. Multiple decoration can be applied using decoration combine. Cool. Don't want to do that yet. I just need text decoration. So what can I do with you? Cannot find the declaration. Probably it's, yeah, okay, got it. So we have line through, none, overline, underline, or combine. Okay, don't want to have that. Background, debug, decoration, foreground, font weight, local, leading. Nope. Okay, so we don't have that. Line 81, wrap it in a transform. You mean this one? I cannot wrap that. It's not a widget. Form dot rotate. Don't know what. How should that work? I mean, transform itself is nothing, right? Transform. Nope. Doesn't work. If we want to transform something, I think we have to do it inside of our widget part. Or I think we cannot use the text painter to transform that like you thought. That we could change the canvas and transform that one. But as you say, then we transform everything. So if I give here like a free inside, we pass in that, then we transform. Whoa. Okay, something happened. I cannot explain it. But cool. Love it. Best stupid. Well, like, let's randomize that one either. That's going to be absolutely nuts. Next in, no, not even next double, and give it a 30. Strange things happen. 30.0 or 9, whatever. 0. Why is it red? 2 money, but this doesn't get one. Next double returns what? Generates from 0 to 1. Okay, so we have to multiply that. Cool. Okay, so whenever we reload now, we get a different topic and muster. So now I think we don't have to size it too much. What is going on? But I'm happy. It's the perfect captcha. You know, nobody knows what he has to enter because it doesn't make sense at all. Great stuff. So maybe just multiply it by 10. It's getting a bit less weird. Is it just always weird? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I don't even add a rotation to current transform. The argument is the radiance clockwise. Is there something else that we could use? I mean, it was not too bad, but it was not useful, I think. Draw anything, restore, transform. I think rotate is nothing else. A radiance is a double. Canvas works directly on the paint layer, so it's like a rotation piece of paper whilst drawing. Yeah, I would say the same, but you think everything is getting moved by one, more or less. That could be. Now it's a circle, so we go always one further. 3, what does do? I'm not completely sure if I understand. You could calculate where you'd have to move the canvas to after the rotation. Okay. Okay. But you know what? I think we did now a lot. We understood now a little bit more on Canvas, drawing, and text painter, and I'm pretty sure I would like to take a look deeper into it, but it's very late for me now. And to maintain the line of letters, I think what I would do is creating multiple widgets that always custom paint the things so that I can transform it here rather than inside of here. It would be also more readable and understandable, I think, because if I rotate that here, I'm pretty sure it's super easy to understand. Not even transform, or do we have to transform it here? Yeah. So rotate. We can even rotate it here. Yeah, way easier. So dot rotate and pass in the angle, I think 3. And then we could do that with each, sorry, we have to multiply, of course, the width again. So width 30, something like that. So, and as you can see now, we multiply, we rotate everything. And the idea would be that we take it for each letter. So we would create a painter for each letter. That would do the thing, I think. Okay, but now, once more, thank you everyone for that amazing day. It was absolutely, it was so good. I really enjoyed this live stream today. We had a lot of questions that I could hopefully answer. I created a GitHub repo. Yeah, that's also something I can do right away. So let's do that before I go. And we have shared a project. Possible. So how do we call it? Flutter Captcha. I don't know. Was it a tutorial? Yeah, Flutter Captcha during a live stream. Done. Something like that. So, and share the whole thing. Edit. Rename the branch from master to main. And push. Oh no. Stupid Git. Flutter. So many mistakes. So Flutter Captcha, of course. So, and I think that was pretty cool. Have that. This is also done. And good. Shared. And now I can also send you the links that I don't forget it. Oops. You are lost. So here you are, and send. Good. All right. So thank you very much for joining. As I said, it was a fantastic live stream. I had tons of fun. We had the possibility to see all you again, and I hope we can do more of these live streams. Please let me know what you like about these AMAs, or if you like these AMA sessions. So ask me anything, then I would maybe do them more often. Also, what would be very important for me is we still need a mascot so that we can create custom emojis and you can spam the YouTube channel with custom emojis. And yeah, else there is nothing else to say. Then thank you very much. I will make myself now a pizza without pineapples. And it was great stuff, Minnow, really. The problem is always if it's getting later, you know, my brain is going fried, so I'm getting very, very bad with development. Dash, of course, yeah, but it has a trademark, Cass. That's the problem. So you cannot just use Dash everywhere. I think so, at least. So Dash Flutter is, I think, a trademark. So it's the mascot of Flutter itself. Of course, I would take it, but I think I have to pay then to Dart team. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I have to ask. But it would be amazing to have at least one emoji with them. Can we see that? Dart Facts, Instagram, Dash 1.0. On the other side, I think there is also that Dash verse or something like that. Dash poem live, your Dash. Okay, forget it. That's a good question. I don't know if they are open source. Lenny, I have never done it so far with these live Q&As or AMA sessions. So it depends on how good it went. So that today I would say we will do it more often. So the idea would be maybe bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks, and then maybe also not in the week, more on the weekend or something, so everyone has a bit more time. I don't know yet, but something like that. I don't want to overpromise, as always, because you know me, there is always so many things that happen, so usually something comes into between and then it's getting difficult and all of that. Okay, awesome, great stuff. Good. Besides of all that, we have talked about Dash, we have talked about Livestream, Mascot. Of course, we can maybe use the Dash at the end. And besides of all that, we made some little Captcha and we had some fun with rotating things. And with that, I wish you a very pleasant evening and we see us probably, I don't know, soon. Okay, all right. And with that, see ya. Bye.